Welcome everyone to today's video. We're the Dimitrov-Boulay piano duo. My name is Dimitri Dimitrov.
And my name is Halvorsen Boulay.
And in today's video, we are going to do something different. One of our fans, one of the people that follow us on Facebook, wanted to send us a video, and that we evaluate the video that we watch and just give some comments back. So that's really wonderful to do, and we hope that more of you will do the same thing because we love it. It's a different type of video. So without further ado, let's just get started with the video.
So we haven't watched it before. This is the first time we're watching it. So you're gonna see how we watch things. You're gonna see what we notice, and yeah.
Here we go. Oh yeah, and she mentioned. The lady that's going to play for us, she actually mentioned that she studied this not through a score, right? Mm-hmm. But that she studied it through a tutorial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's also good to know. Who knows? Maybe we discover something that's important with the way that she studied the piece. Let's get started and watch the video.
That she's not playing what's written here, is it?
No. Where's
Where's the other notes?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's look, that's a little tricky to judge because the tutorial could have been also without the upper note. So I have no idea if that's the...
I don't know. So what is the conflict now for the people that are not following? She's not exactly playing what is written in the score. So we don't know if this is the score used in the tutorial or if it's a different score. Because we're missing a lot of notes. Because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just very quickly going to Google, like on YouTube, going to fill in this piece and see if I can happen to find the same tutorial. I'm curious. We watched two tutorials. They actually keep to the score that we have at the moment, in which they play the left hand as is written, which is an octave higher than our...
But anyway, I think that's nothing to judge your skills. So let's go straight to your skills. We'll just ignore those. We realized that there is something missing between the tutorials and what you're playing, but we're not going to judge that because that's not important for your playing. Let's see immediately about your playing then. Let's focus on...
Yeah, so without score, just simply the playing
we follow
itself.
the score and we just judge more your playing, and we just give you tips on what to improve, because otherwise there's no... I was wondering if your C, this one, because in the beginning you have... You never play the C. I don't know if that's again tutorial, but I would say that I'm almost sure that that's not in the tutorial. You attempt to play the repeated C, so make sure that you actually play it. Also the movements of the hand, if you watch. It's more, yeah, here when you're playing from here, make sure that you have much more efficient movement. Like if you watch my hand, if I play this, I don't do your movements. What you're doing is, let me try to imitate it because like we can see it. That's not an efficient technique. Even though it might work in this piece, what you're doing, I mean, it comes across, if I don't watch your hands, I would say, oh, okay, I hear the keys. Of course, we could say that that's okay, but for any future piece that you're going to play, if you want to get some skills, you need to remove this immediately. You need to immediately make sure that you play very efficient, close to the keyboard, and not, because you will not you waste a lot of energy. Piano playing is all about efficiency and being very, very efficient with your technique. So that I would improve immediately. You'll be able to have better sound. You'll be able to. I'm sorry, I'm talking, but you can.
No. This is absolutely right. I noticed this, and also this is something that I think it really helps if you practice without pedal, because then you would hear that you're not actually making an effort to phrase with your hands. And also what I noticed is that you're kind of wiping your hands like this. So not
wiping
only
the keys.
wiping the keys a bit.
Perhaps that need cleaning. I don't know.
But so aside from actually like not playing legato, not playing efficient, actually the movement that you're doing is kind of you're pulling your finger towards you. Now, what I like about what you're doing, actually what I like about how your hands are moving is that you do achieve some kind of relaxation, which is really good, by the way. You're just not doing it in an efficient way. So I think try to keep that relaxed hand, because that's really, really well. You're doing that great, actually. But this is definitely not something you want to be doing. Keep your hands like in the key. Don't pull them towards you. So try to just notice that when you're playing, because that's probably a habit.
Shall we see a little further?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
By the way, what you're doing nicely, not to not to only criticize you, of course. Actually, there's good things like your sound. You actually phrase nice.
Yeah.
You phrase nicely, and I think if you work on your technique, you will be able to play even better, because it's nice to see that you're not only that you're finishing your phrases. That sounds.
You have a good feeling also what the piece is about.
Yeah,
for sure.
That sounds good. Now, one tip for anyone who is sending us videos: the better you film your video, the more accurate we can be in our evaluation. The way you film right now, I can't judge your left hand very well because I don't want to guess. So if I see your hand a little bit from above, if you see your hands a little bit from above, we'll be able to see very well your technique. Now we are seeing it very close, from even to the keyboard, so it's a little bit difficult to judge. I would say that as a little tip for anyone who is sending us videos: the better angle you get us from here, but like also a little bit above the keyboard, it's better for us.
Yeah, and I wanted a side note, not about your playing, about your pedal, because that is a charming background noise. You can actually ask your piano tuner to take a look at that. A lot of people don't know that piano tuners are often, almost always also piano technicians. Probably he can fix your pedal right away. Unless you actually like the sound.
Yeah.
Then keep it.
It's like, again, I see that you almost play that note with... No, you actually don't play it every time. What I see in the left hand is a little bit a claw-like position of the hand. I see that. I don't know how relaxed you are, but I can imagine that if the hand doesn't relax, your right hand seems to play in a different way than your left. It's like you keep your left hand in the position of the notes that you're going to play. I'm not sure that it's completely... What do you think?
Sometimes it's relaxed and sometimes not, but I think that's just the inconsistency of not completely understanding what to do technically.
It's like if you see my hand, you have a little bit of this position instead of this position, when exactly what they say, this apple, but I call it more kind of relaxation, that the hand doesn't do, the fingers are never raised that way, but the fingers are usually hanging and playing that way. So maybe you can work a little bit on that. But again, the angle is very difficult. Yeah, I think I would say here what I'm watching is, I would say that it isn't a good idea to play like this. Do you know this?
Yeah.
It's that's something important to improve. Not a good technique for broken octaves, for sure not. Not a good technique. You're supposed to.
Yeah, broken octave is a really tricky one.
But also efficiency.
But what you want with the broken octaves is what was it? What you want with broken octaves is you want the weight on your thumb. You don't want the weight evenly spread on your hands. You don't want evenly to distribute your weight between your thumb and your pinky. You want kind of like down, down, up, down, up, down.
In this case, you don't want to go that much.
No, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but that is kind of the weight distribution that you want. And you definitely don't want an even weight distribution. Because the reason why you don't want that, it might work for this piece because it's a slow piece, but as a general technique, you always want to be efficient. If you do broken octaves, you don't want to play them differently technically in a slow piece than in a fast piece. You want to have the right technique from the start. So broken octaves, no matter if you're playing them slow or fast, they should be in a way that you can play them any tempi. So that is the technique for...
But anyway, that's the same. You have the same type of technique here also with previously,
as in the beginning,
previously played. So that's one of the things that I will take from this video. Not good technique in left hand. The way that you move, you need to work on how you rotate your hand. It rotates too rigidly, so that's something that needs to be worked on.
Yeah, I actually Dimitar made, I don't know if you made it solo this one, I think so. Dimitar made a really good video on arpeggios, which is how to exactly put the thumb over and under. Because what you do now, I as I can see, because it's a little difficult to see, you hold it too much legato, which means that if you do an arpeggio, right, and you hold this too much, you try to hold it too long, your hand kind of becomes stiff. So actually check it out, I'll link it for you up here.
Yeah, like if I watched once more to try to be very, very accurate as much as possible from this video. Yeah.
So you're holding it too long.
And you move your thumb. You try to like completely put your thumb under the hand. That's not necessary to be
But
done.
I know that you explained this very nicely in a video, so we'll just
So what I can take from the video, this is our first video like this, so forgive us for any kind of inconsistency. We try to be as consistent as possible. But what we take from the video, one, when you send us something, you have to send us also the tutorial.
Make sure that we know exactly what you're playing, because this score is not what you're playing. So either you're missing a ton of notes and a ton of actually passages and the rhythm is incorrect, or you are playing something else. So one of those two things, and I would be actually interested to know which it is.
Yeah, so tutorial, when you send us something that you played, the tutorial, the link to the tutorial that you studied from, a score, if you studied with a score, anyway, score is useful. So we can't judge on that. I'm almost sure that something doesn't match. I think in the tutorial you don't repeat that note.
I saw at the very end, I saw that you actually repeated the note. It was missing several times. It was missing several times, which makes me think that perhaps you have tried to play the repeated notes. In that case, I think that practicing without pedal again will help you hear that note isn't there.
That's wonderful. So what I can think from your playing, from the first try, from first sight, is your technique isn't very good. What you have to do is work on your technique and your efficiency. It's not efficient. It's not something that's going to allow you to play a lot of pieces with ease. So that's something that you have to look into very much. So that's my critic for you. From what I can see is you need to work on your technique. What you do very good though is phrase very nicely, and that you don't see with everyone. You have a nice way of phrasing. It's musical and it sounds very good. And I think if you improve your technique to have a good technique and combine that with the way that she phrases, I think you can play really nice. nicely. So
Well, we're very boring today because we totally agree. I think that I love the way that you feel the piece. I'm feeling it, and when you're playing, and that is exactly what Dimitar says. That's definitely not with everybody. So I really enjoyed watching that. I really enjoyed how you're feeling the music and make me feel the music because of that. But I think that the technique is in your way.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because you can express so much more if you work technically. I also actually forgot to mention your left hand. I definitely think you'll benefit from some technique, some etudes based on scales. So with that, for example, you have the Czerny, Opus 740 number 1. You know, it's a scale-based etude. You have the Opus 299, which also start. The very first few etudes are all scale-based. And I think that would be really, really good for you.
I would say look for videos where you study good technique, because that's the first thing you need to conquer.
Some technical basics, I think, because you got quite a lot of musicality down. So I think that
because there's so many tutorials out there, but you can learn so many wrong things from tutorials because they're just showing you something. You even don't know if these people are professional, if they're playing good, if they're playing with right fingering, with right technique. So that's very, very tricky. But watch some videos. There are some great people online that are going to talk about technique. The thing that you have to remember from this video is, if you go in the direction of being efficient, and remember that less movements is always better. You will benefit enormously from that. But great for your musical playing. That's wonderful to see. And if there are any of you out there that want to send us a video with a link, you don't have to show your face. If you want a little advice on your playing, a little feedback, feel free to send us, contact us on Facebook. You can send us a message there or comment here below. We'll get in contact and we'll make a video on your playing as well. It was great recording this type of video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And I wanted to say, in the Netherlands we say hats off. Hats off to Colleen. I don't know, I'll ask you if I can mention your name, because it takes guts to share something. It takes guts to be criticized.
Yeah.
But that is how you learn. And so hats off to you.
Absolutely. Lots of respect. That's very, very good. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.